Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday, September 2nd. We are in September, and we are here. Mike Straw live. You get to see my beautiful face again. Though I need to shave. I do need to shave. But how's it going, everybody? Good to see you, Death Note, Chris, B Dizzle, TP, Fuzzy, Muffin. How are you? We were trying to dual stream. It's not that it's dark, so I have two lights. It's because of the ISO I use on the camera. But I could easily just make it brighter like that with the lights. See, I can make it darker all I want. But hello, everyone. Molly, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. We were gonna try and co-stream on Twitch and TikTok. It says I'm live, but when I go to my Twitch channel, I'm not actually live on Twitch like it says. And if I go to TikTok, I'm not actually live like it says. Let's see. If I go to TikTok right now, I should be live on the Tick of Talk, but I don't think I actually am. So it says I'm live, but if I go to it, it's not actually... Oh, it is showing. Cool. So it says I'm live. It is working. If I go to it, it's not... You guys don't need to hear me twice. So it says I'm live there, but it's not showing the chat on screen. Well, there's no chat in there, so we'll see what happens with that. It says it's live. Twitch, I don't know what's going on with that. But okay. So there's Chris. It's not coming up. Chris 1928, how you doing? I'm assuming that's you. Yeah, it's the same Chris. It's not showing up on the chat there. We're toying. What I should have done is a test stream in the afternoon. Maybe I'll do that Thursday afternoon. Because yeah, on Twitch I should be live, but I'm not. Double B, good evening. How you doing? What is the demographic of your channel and what do you want it to become? So that's one of the things we're gonna be talking about. We got a lot to talk about. The news rundown today. College basketball, the latest on that. Everything I know, everything I've heard, what's come out. Matt Brown had a report today as well. EA versus 2K picking up steam. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this Call of Duty movie that was confirmed to be happening today. We're going to drop an update, a career update. I'd been teasing on social media about something new happening. That's going to be coming down the pipeline. And we're going to be talking about what we're going to do with this channel. Venom, good evening. You sent me something. What did you send me, Venom? If you're sending me DMs, FYI, if you're sending me DMs, there's an issue with them taking forever to load. So I'll get a DM and it'll take about 15 minutes for it to actually come through, which is really annoying, really, really frustrating. So we saw that. I know Death Note threw something in my chat, Venom. Okay, I see what you sent me. We're going to talk about that as well. But actually, I can't even talk about much of that. Molly, I do got thoughts on that too from a tech standpoint. From a tech standpoint, I have quite a few thoughts on that one. Yeah, I got to figure out what's going on with the Twitch chat. And what's going on there, why it's not actually appearing on the screen on TikTok. If you're tuning in on TikTok, hello, welcome. This is the first time of Mike Straw Live, a weekly show every Tuesday night around 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I go live talking about gaming, sports, whatever's on my mind. I am a former, we'll get to that in a minute. I'll do a rundown introduction for all these new people. This stream is going to be good. This stream is going to be longer than normal, I think. I think it's going to be well more than an hour. We also might do something different at the end of this stream. because I'm still working on the new pro wrestling mods. I know I'm all over the place right now. I have a lot in my head. And when I say a lot in my head, a lot in my head. I'm a TikToker. I mean, I tried it. I left it because I thought it was going to be banned, and now they just keep extending it, and I don't know if that's actually going to ever happen. So I went back to it, and I know there's people there who follow me and have followed my work in the past. So I'm trying to get it going. Hello, everyone tuning in. Now, let's do an introduction for everybody. It's best to, yeah, Chris, yeah. It's the big thing is the testing and the fixing, because I'm using OBS Stream Elements to multi-stream, supposedly to Twitch and TikTok, as well as YouTube. It's not working on Twitch, and TikTok doesn't have any of the features, so I might have to use the TikTok Live Studio and set up a camera so I can use my camera on two different things. So I can be on there, see that chat because, because I'm trying to get the chat. Okay, I see the chat now on my OBS. It's just very, very frustrating as to why it's still not streaming on Twitch, but I'm not going to be concerned about that. We're just going to focus on TikTok and YouTube, and I'll shut the Twitch down for now. Now, all that housekeeping out of the way. Let's bring an introduction, shall we? A lot of you have been here before, a lot of you haven't. So why don't I introduce who in the hell I think and I know that I am. My name's Mike Straw. I am 35 years old. I am a journalist. I've been a journalist since I was 19, since 2009, when I got my first job at a local newspaper, stringing and doing more than that, covering high school sports throughout my college career. I have covered the NFL, the NHL, and for the better part of the last decade plus, the video game industry. Specifically, I like to cover in the behind the scenes, how games get made, and the business aspect of it. I'm currently the senior editor at Insider-Gaming.com. We've been around since 2023. I was one of the first hires there. Myself and Grant Taylor Hill are the co-senior editors. You may know me also from Insider Gaming Weekly, a video game podcast, every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern over on Insider Gaming's YouTube channel. I have written for outlets such as Bleacher Report, Yahoo Sports, TWSN, The Hockey Writers, where I was the managing editor for some time, SB Nation, Fansided. I was one of the first editors of Gamesided, their original video game vertical. I was a managing editor of their Buffalo Bills website, Buffalo Down. I've been all over the place for the past 16 years now, since I've been doing this professionally. I also do my own on the side freelance. I originally called this The Mike Straw Show. It was a Tuesday night show at 8 p.m. That went well, but it kind of fell off because I kind of got burnt out. But I have found you guys. You guys have made it very enjoyable to do this once again. And Mike Straw Live is here as long as I can, unless something else comes and changes my availability. Mike Straw Live is here every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, unless something changes. If it changes, you can find that information on my social media. Where can you follow me? Well, I'm mostly on Blue Sky and still Twitter, because I have built up an audience on Twitter, and I don't want to just leave you guys who are still there. Twitter at Mike Straw Media, Blue Sky at Mike Straw Media, every single social media platform. If you look Mike Straw Media, you will find me. I have a Threads account. I don't post on it because they were removing my content and my posts. I have a Facebook page, facebook.com/Mike Straw Media. I'm going to start using that more, but basically to call out all the AI fake gaming news and sports news I see post, to kind of call it out as being what it is, doing the work of the people. I have an Instagram account. I don't really post on that much. I use it to talk to a couple family members, but that's about it. So you can find me there. YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Mike Straw Media, everywhere. We also have a community Discord. If you're on YouTube, it is in the description below. It is open to invite your friends. It's a small community. We're just hanging out right now as it grows, but it's a place for all of us to talk about whatever we want to talk about. Games, music, movies, TV, you name it, it's there. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being around, for liking my stuff, for giving me the motivation to keep going. I appreciate all of it, and I hope I can earn your continued respect with my work and my coverage, whether it be my interviews with the Developer Spotlight series, what I'm working on, hopefully as an aside, with my own gaming stuff, or in the future. I did have an announcement I wanted to make, and it's better to announce it this way, I guess, because I'll post it on social media. But I've been teasing something new about what I'm going to be doing with my career as an aside. I've been looking. Again, I've been a free agent, you could say, NHL and NFL reporter for the better part of the last 9 months. Well, right now, that is no more. I'm happy to announce that I am joining Forbes as an NFL writer, specifically a contributor, but I will be writing about the NFL this season for Forbes. I'm working on getting a schedule ready for when you can expect my articles. At least 1 to 2 columns per week. You will see my work over at Forbes. I will have links on that once they're live on my social media and on my channels. Mike Straw, back in the NFL game. And I'm also still talking to some places for some NHL coverage, but that'll be coming soon. So there you have it. That's me. Not my full bio, but my professional one. There's a whole nother career we can get into, as my career as a software and web developer since 2016 when I got my master's in computer information systems. But also I will be joining Forbes again as a NFL writer, contributor for the upcoming season. Pretty excited about it. News and analysis. Can't wait. Starting this week with games on Thursday. So let's go, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Good night. I'm out. Bye. See you later. I know, I just keep going. The admin was talking about me. All right, now we got some fun stuff. Blue Sky. It is very safe, TP. It's, to me, a lot better than Twitter. I'm building up the audience there. I don't like what Twitter has become. I don't like the popcorn fart who runs Twitter. But I do realize I have built up an audience over the last 16 years of being on there since September of 2009. This is my 16th year now, or going into my 17th year, that I don't want to just leave it yet. But Blue Sky, I'm over there. Blue Sky is more, I give a lot more of my opinion on Blue Sky. So, FYI. Thank you all for the kind words. I really appreciate it. Yes, there is the link to Discord. If someone wants to post it, I can pin it, or it's in the description below on YouTube. It is, let's see, where else can we put it? Let's throw never, number of uses no limit, generate a new link. Join Discord. I have just posted that in there, and we've pinned it to the channel. So there we have it. The goal is to make tonight's stream one of the biggest we've had. A lot of talk about, a lot of conversation to happen. Just a lot. We're gonna start off. I wasn't gonna, but Kakarot. What were they saying in that channel? What were they saying in that Discord that I have been banned from, FYI? I was banned from last year, or 2 years ago, so I can't get in it. But if you want to tell me or send me what they said in the Discord, you can join our Discord and send it to me there. So let me know what they were saying. The UFC stuff, I had mentioned, someone asked me about it in the Discord, and I was saying, this is the most silent I've ever heard them. Even the people who gave me the information for UFC 5 are completely silent. They're not saying a word. And I know the messages are being read. I get read receipts on everything I send for when it comes to work-related stuff. The people who are sending me things aren't talking right now. So it has me one of two things. Everything's on hold with the next game announcement, or they're close. Like, I know, it's either coming or it's not. But when something's generally just in development and they're working and they know it's just cruising along, that's when more people talk. That was UTP? Got it. Yeah, what was said on the UFC Discord? I would love to know about that. You just posted the link. Oh, you posted the link to the Discord. So yeah, let me know. Everybody who's joined, I will make you founders. My first 20 members to the server, 25 will be founders, and eventually the founders will have their own channel and permissions and stuff like that. I got you, TP. Yeah, if they were mentioning me in the UFC Discord, though, I'd want to know what was said. Now, we need to talk. I saw that. Kirk, we'll take to the NFL in a minute. We're going to kick off with NASCAR 25. The trailer was supposed to come at the end of the month. I've reached out to iRacing directly. Haven't gotten an answer on when that's coming. Even what's coming down the pipeline so I can prep my coverage for Insider Gaming. What I did get from a different source was that everything got bumped when it took a little bit to get the release date announcement out there. Everything got bumped by a short amount of time. Nothing bad. It's just they wanted to space things out a specific way, and that's what they're doing. There's nothing to worry about with the NASCAR 25 trailer. There's nothing to worry about it with that. I was told it's coming soon. Whether that means this week or next, I don't know. But the biggest thing I was told is make sure people aren't worrying about it. There's nothing to worry about it. The Gold Edition. I knew about a Gold Edition coming to the game. I just don't know what it's going to involve. In my mind, I would think maybe they'll get licensed to legendary drivers and that'll be part of it. Or legendary tracks or historic tracks or whatever. Like, we're going to get something like that. Or maybe the hope we get a Daytona 500. By the Gold Edition, you get the 2026 early season update once they get all the assets and stuff like that. Where if you want in February or March of next year, the current 2026 schemes and teams and stuff, you get that for that. That's my guess of what the gold was going to be. The UFC 6 stuff, yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say on that. But I think if I had to guess, we'll get the NASCAR trailer by Friday. But I don't want to, don't call that me reporting it. That's just me guessing. If it was supposed to come last week, I think by Friday we'll get it. Kirk, is the EA NFL contract extension a done deal? Everything I know is that it was agreed to. It was going through legal and all that fun stuff. Christopher Martin, hello over on the vertical side. Everything I know is that it was agreed to and it was going through legal. Like I said when I first announced it for Insider Gaming, I would expect an announcement by the end of 2025. That, to me, that'd be the smart thing to do. They announce it maybe towards the end of the season, during the holidays or whatever. But no matter what, Madden is not going away. I can tell you that. Madden is here to stay for years to come. How well did PGA Tour sell? From what I know, really well. Really well. Especially in the States. In the States, it did really well. I think NASCAR, my guess is that advertisement went a little early, and we'll see that maybe by Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday for the Gold Edition stuff. Because obviously NASCAR, they haven't publicly announced the Gold Edition unless it came out tonight. But there's been nothing there. The last post they posted was the 27th, the account. So that's where we're looking at with NASCAR. Guys, Silk Song is beyond nuts. I can't wait. I can't wait. Let's see, what else? I know I missed questions. I'm going back and catching up questions before I get to talking college basketball. I want to get these early questions and answers out of the way because there is quite a bit to get out of the way. Let's see. Molly, how are you feeling, by the way? But I do say, if we don't get an announcement on UFC this month, it's been on sale on and off, TP. If we don't get an announcement this month about UFC, I don't think it obviously is not coming this year. There's no way they announce it in November or October. Any thoughts on State of Play tomorrow? You think they cooked anything with this James Bond? So, I want to trust IO Interactive because the Hitman games are really good. But my thing is, I don't know what it's going to end up being. As long as it doesn't play like Hitman, like it could take inspiration, but if it plays exactly like the Hitman games, they say it won't. But if it does, it's going to turn me off. Well, no duh, Kakarot. Okay. No duh, I don't work for EA. I never claimed to work for EA. I know people at EA. I've never once claimed to work for EA. They tried to tell me, I remember the reason I got banned when I was in there, because I had posted the information about UFC 5, like the arenas, the new blood thing, the PS5, Xbox Series X, like no PC stuff. And they tried to say, hey, until you hear it from EA themselves, it's not true. Don't believe what you're hearing. And then every single thing I reported was right. Every single thing. And they were really butthurt about it. I'm gonna still believe it drops this year, but it wouldn't surprise me early 2026 by March. The later it goes, the more if it's not announced by the end of this month, I think we're looking at a March release date. Kappas, yeah, the Battle Royale video got leaked. We covered it at Insider Gaming, and then EA threatened us because of us sharing the information about it. EA threatened us. There will be I believe there'll still be 2 state of plays. That's at least what, like let's put it this way. Jeff Grubb and a couple others who would be more in the know on the state of play side of things think there's going to be a bigger state of play. At least there's going to be a PlayStation state of play later this month. I don't think this is really going to be the only one this month. And then we're supposed to be getting a Nintendo Direct next week. Next Friday, September 12th is the date a lot of people are pointing at. Chris, we'll talk about college basketball, Chris, in a minute. We'll get to that in 1 second. I want to answer one question. On the IndyCar game, they are adamant that it's going to launch in the second half of 2026. It's going to if it comes out in the second half of 2026, it's going to come out sometime in June or July or August of next year, near the end of the iRacing or the IndyCar racing season. I don't think they'd release the game in November or December or October. TP, I also don't know what they classify as a state of play versus a showcase anymore. It makes no sense to me anymore. Announcement has to be coming soon, Dizzle. When do I think EA is going to update the scans for Madden? I think we're gonna get another update. Like we should be getting a roster update within the next week or so. We should be getting the big roster update. We'll get some likenesses updated then, I think. And if not, I think by the end of the month we'll get a bunch of likenesses by the end of September. TP, thank you for the super chat. $3 super chat. Do you think it'll be like 2021 showcase? I don't. I mean, I think it's just going to be a smaller state of play at the end of the month, the second one. Again, I don't have any insight into Sony's business, but from everything that's been told, obviously I have to follow what's being told. I do think by the end of the month, there'll be a showcase. Will Fable get further delayed? Double A. So, actually, we'll talk about that in a minute. Actually, I don't know how I want to do this. I want to get to the college basketball, but on that note, I had talked to Tony Gardner, the president of iRacing, the day the IndyCar announcement happened. He filled me in on the timeline. So they had to wait a while they were wrapping things up. Things were wrapping up between IndyCar and Motorsport Games to talk. But the deal was put together, like, got really serious late 2024, and it was signed in early 2025. So it came together really quick once they started talking because of that. Will Fable get further delayed from 2026? I kind of think it does. I don't know for sure, but it's not going to come out in early 2026. I'd be surprised if it does. They're going to really push it for this 25th anniversary of Xbox stuff, Fable, the next Halo, which will probably be a Combat Evolved remake. And then they're still working on more Halo games. The Forza Horizon 6 is set to be announced this month for likely Japan as the setting. So, and they're the same studios, Playground Games. Now, big topic we need to talk about first. Well, second. It's already a half hour in. We've talked about a lot other than the main topic I wanted to talk about. Before we get into that, guys, if you're tuned in and you haven't liked the show yet, leave a like. It helps grow and spread this out, especially once the show goes off the air. The more likes, the longer you are here, the more interaction, the more YouTube goes, hey, we should push this out. People need to see it. College basketball. EA announced earlier this summer, and they did it in a way. They did it in response to Matt Brown's report dropping. They weren't supposed to. There were people at EA Sports that had no idea that they were making a college basketball game. And the teams that would likely be working on it. There were people in different departments at EA that had no idea this was happening. None. So it came out of the blue there. Nothing was signed. They went based on the CLC recommending him and the fact that, hey, we already got the college license for college football. We already got the teams. It shouldn't be hard to get them for basketball. And they wanted exclusive because of what's happening now. And they also promised every D1 men's and women's program. Of course, 2K Sports, 2K Take-Two, they offered, their proposal was to have some college teams start out as DLC in my team, expanded every year, and then if the DLC sold well and it did well enough, if it did well enough, maybe expand it into its own game. Okay, they changed that once the EA proposal was accepted by the CLC. They'll do their own game, but it's not going to have every team. They're going to focus on about 100 men's and women's programs, roughly, not specifically only 100, but around 100 to be in the game. So that would mean not every school would be in. So you'd likely not see Horizon League teams or Big Sky teams in the game. And 2K wanted to go to licensing individually. They already have a deal now with UCLA. And a lot of this has to do, every D1 FBS school is in college football Death Note. all of the FBS schools, the Football Bowl subdivision schools that are active, are in college football. So now you got 2K coming in wanting to sign licenses, and the bigger schools are listening because what comes out, or the matter of the fact is, these schools want to capitalize on college sports being just so big right now. So big right now. They want a game sooner, a lot of them. 2K, with the NBA 2K engine, with what they use with that, could get college teams in video games a lot sooner. I've had people at 2K tell me that if 2K got everything, crossed the T's, dotted the I's, as quick as they can, they could, at this point, it would have to be signed, sealed, delivered by the end of the year, end of 2025, a game out by 2027. By the end of 2027. Realistically, they could do that. And I think this is what a lot of schools are hoping for. Because EA's proposal called for a game at 2028-29 season. Now, we still don't know. EA is still talking. These negotiations are still happening. If EA can say, hey, 2K will have to wait until 2028 as well. 2K will have to wait until 2028, and EA can go, we can get all the schools in, and it'd be at the same time as 2K, then they'll do it. I think what matters is college football is easier because they've been building football games for years. Basketball, NBA Live 19 was the last one. 20 got canceled, and they haven't done anything since. They separated the teams. They moved them on to other projects while 2K keeps going. And I think that's where a lot of it comes in. But we're seeing heavily EA versus 2K happen again in a major way. You wish there were more FCS D1. They are working on adding those. That was one of the plans. Coaches was the big one this year. FCS programs are part of the plan. It's just my hope maybe would be next year, but I don't want to say for sure. But they are part of the plans. Delaware is officially FBS this year. That's why they're in. So possibly when could we get it? A college basketball game? I still think we don't get it until 2028. Exactly. I agree, AA. I agree 100%. I agree. My thing is, if 2K comes out with a college basketball game, and Chris, I saw your thing. For someone who's trying to play with a college, would I recommend it? If you don't like 2K, you wouldn't like a 2K made college basketball game. Because the game's going to play mostly similar aside from a few things. I'd go back and play, though. I mean, it plays a bit different, but College Hoops 2K if you can. People don't like NCAA 10. I still do. But that might be a case of it was the last one, so that type of thing. Kind of like what I feel with NCAA 14. People loved that game because it was the last, even though I think NCAA 13 was better. 2020. No, it's 20. Ed, it's 2029. I get the reference, though. But 2029, that's not a real year. Dude, I hate that we're coming up on that. We're 4 years away. Competition is a good thing, like Call of Duty versus Battlefield. But yeah, you'd think 2K would have the license. And that's the thing. If 2K gets the license, the NCAA has been talking with these guys too because they were going to license themselves out for NCAA March Madness and the tournament and stuff. If you're not going to have all the programs, I don't think you're going to get that NCAA March Madness license. So I'm really interested. Like, how are you going to have a 68-team tournament and you only have like 110 teams maybe in the game? Like, that kind of, I don't know, that kind of weird. It's weird. TP, thank you again. So possibly when could we get it? I'm assuming you're college basketball. I still think 2028. I don't think it's smart for UFC to release in 2026. I kind of do. If they want, I think it'd be smart if they wanted to release in March 2026. I think that would be smart because the only other game that would release around then, the window is WWE and MLB The Show. So they'd be competing kind of, especially with TKO owning both UFC and WWE. Maybe not. but they're two different developers, and I think they'd both sell either way. They'd both sell either way. What else do we get? NASCAR on ESPN. Any chance a college game with only men? It could release earlier, 100%. But I think we're at the stage where, when it comes to basketball, they couldn't justify releasing a college game without men's and women's programs. Even if they wanted to do just say, they just couldn't do it. I don't think they could do it. I'd be surprised. Jarrett, the plan is TP. Yes, it is. Or Molly, yeah, I believe it is. Jarrett, the plan, they still say May. They still say May for Grand Theft Auto. We do have the next Take-Two earnings call. Though, I mean, they're going to... They did it with what they did last time. So the most recent one was August 7th. So we're looking at November. October, November for the next one. That's when I think we're going to hit May. Yeah. So we're looking at November for the next earnings call. And then February, March for the next one after that. The February one, I think, is when we'll hear for sure whether it's coming in May 2026. Any concrete news on Topspin 2K26? Nothing concrete. Bandits, no. I don't think Baltimore is too much of a running offense to where I couldn't trust Zay Flowers in a fantasy draft. And David Montgomery, not... Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get more and more of the rock this year. Like, I don't think so. I think stick with A.J. Brown. And you got to think in the Detroit offense, Gibbs is going to get more of those passes. What would I change about Madden franchise? Oh boy, would I. So in my review, franchise has a lot of good going for it, but there's things I don't like. Hold on, let's see. I wish my whiteboard. Hi, Mom. Just still hi, Mom. I wish I had a dry erase marker. Because we could play a game of writing down on the whiteboard. Oh, you have Zay and Monty? Then yes. If you have Zay and Monty, trade them both. Trade them both. Because I think Montgomery's production is going to drop. I think it's going to drop. The auto-generated draft classes are cool. They could be more unique. They could also stop making, let's see if I can find this. Look. Cool, my computer froze up again. All right, we're back. Cole, are you the ginger Tom Selleck? Oh, when I shave, dude, we're gonna curl this. Look at that. You can't see that right now, but look at that. We're gonna curl that in every way. I'm back. Good. Yeah, sometimes when I freeze things, it likes to or when I open files, my OBS likes to freeze. I don't know why. I got to figure that out. All right, let's see if I can find the picture for Madden that they do. That pisses me off. Oh, here we go. Found the picture. Ready for this? They still do this with the generated faces. If you're on TikTok, you're not going to be able to see it all that well. But what they do is they generate these faces that make them look like they're 40-year-old men. And I don't get why they do it, but they do. All these faces. Then there's things Let's see if I can find another one. Let's try. Where's the other? Oh, top fits. No matter what the position is or the player is, if these three teams need a quarterback, no matter what type of quarterback they are, they're always going to be the top fits. They're always going to be the top fits. They need to fix the draft board. Yeah, you can't really see that. There's no background. You can't have the old helmets with current jerseys, which is frustrating. You don't need to see my face there. Like there's a lot there that they still need to do. He's a better looking Eggman. I'm not as fat yet. I'm not as big as Eggman. I'm not as big. They have, and they've added more. They've added a lot more faces, but that's the problem. They still are doing the same ones. The same ones. Scouting needs to be better. What I would love to see in franchise mode as well is when you sign a free agent during the regular season or after free agency ends, you're guaranteed to sign them no matter what. They will sign your contract. And then you can't negotiate a deal. It's a 1 year, whatever the money is, that's it. You can't be like, hey, you've been sitting in free agency for 3 months. It's November. You're still a free agent. Here's 1 year vet minimum. No, if they're going to have 1 year 600,000 or 6 million, you're signing them 1 year 6 million. And that's that needs to change. So basically how contracts work, trade logic needs to be better because I still, even on very hard, can still be too easy for the what's coming. It's hard to get them to agree to a deal, but what's coming in, the offers are kind of dumb. Do I think UFC 6 will be good? I didn't think UFC 5 was good, so I'm not confident. Madden 26, at the end of the day, on the field, aside from some issues that they fixed a lot of the zone issues in the last patch and more is coming. On the field, Madden 26 is still the most fun I've had with a Madden in years. Off the field, there's still some things I can't. Do I think AI will help Madden in the future to make it better when the new system comes out? AI has a place. It depends how they use it. It depends how they use it at the end of the day. I don't think we'll ever see the pride fighting, Chris. I don't think we'll ever see the pride fighting in UFC. I would like to see it back as well. I would like to see a better career mode. I would like to see the ability to be a booker, where you book your cards and you see how they perform and you have goals. Like, obviously, it's not like GM mode in WWE where you're competing against other brands on the umbrella, but it's like, hey, you sold these many tickets. You packed this much. You booked this venue for this much. You made this. That's what I would love to see in UFC. That is exactly what I would love to see in UFC. Thoughts on AJ Lee? If she shows up and it's a long-term deal, or even a short-term deal, but she signs a Legends deal, she'll be in 2K26. She will be in 2K26, but my guess is she will be a deal. No matter what, if she's in 2K26, it won't be as a base roster wrestler. It will be as DLC. I mean, no real GM would accept that deal for Parsons. None. I throw them out, but no one listens. TP. No one listens at all. Give it to 2K, then UFC. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd want to see 2K do a UFC game. Because the gameplay in WWE, I still don't care for. I don't care for WWE's gameplay, the 2K gameplay. I like the GM mode, but the gameplay is just a pain in the ass. Could 2K come without a March Madness name for the tournament? 100%. If the NCAA doesn't want to license it, it will come with its own tournament name. Did AJ Lee make an appearance? It's been reported today that she is expected to... The way Sunday's pay-per-view ended, Ed, because I know you didn't watch, Becky Lynch showed up and cost CM Punk the title match in the end. And then Monday on Raw, she started smacking him. SmackDown is in Chicago, where CM Punk is from, where he lives with his wife, AJ Lee. And all of the reports point to AJ Lee returning as part of this storyline. Rockstar takes too long to make any of their games. Rockstar takes way too long to make any games. I don't want them to do anything. Oh, you didn't know? Man, that was good. That was good. That was good. I approve that. Guys, thank you for tuning in so far. Like I said, this is going a bit longer than normal because we haven't even gotten to a lot of this stuff. We haven't gotten to a lot of stuff. The questions are coming in. No, her last name's not Punk. AJ Lee's her character. I don't even know. I don't follow the personal lives of wrestlers. I just refuse to. I don't know what's going on with WoW. I haven't seen anything on that in over a year. But whatever it is, it's not going to be an exclusive agreement at all. Or one they can hold them binding to. A new Midnight Club would be fantastic because Midnight Club 3 is still one of the best. Guys, if you're just tuning in, thank you. Thank you so much. Be sure to leave a like if you're on YouTube. If you're on the Talk of Sick, follow. Leave a like is there as well. I'm going to work on a new overlay for the vertical side of things. But yeah, Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. I still will play that game, and I will still pull up and get my Chevy Bel Air or my Impala purple and gold. Yeah, AA. It's one of those two. But like I said, I don't pay attention to that much because it's none of my business. It's kind of one of those things, my name's Paul, that's between y'all type of moments. Yes, they do, TP. Thank you very much. Again, TP, thank you for the super chat. UFC games need to be better character customization. Yeah, they do. They all look the same. Every fighter fights the same. No matter what they try and do, you can make every fighter fight exactly the same in the UFC games. And I don't like that at all. Though, I mean, no matter what you try and do in WWE, you can make them fight. No matter how they try and make it, you can make everybody play the way you want them to play. But they do. They 100% keep cycling the same stuff. 100%. So, there is another thing that I wanted to talk about that came out today. And that is Call of Duty is going to be an action slop film. And the reason I say action slop film, because we know how it's going to be made. But it came out today after initial reports and rumors began last week that Paramount has acquired the rights to make a Call of Duty film. Now, we don't know who's writing it, who will direct it, who will star in it, and even a release date. That is still way off in the distance. But we did get the official confirmation. Variety reported it. It's a deal for first reported it, and then a press release went out. According to Variety sources, this is just for one movie, one blockbuster movie, but there are opportunities to expand it further into more films and television. This movie will be live action, and Paramount CEO David Ellison, in the release, called himself a lifelong Call of Duty fan, and he mentioned playing the original games all the way to like Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare and beyond, even to today. And he called the opportunity to develop this movie for the franchise at Paramount a, quote, dream come true. He said, quote, being entrusted by Activision and players worldwide to bring this extraordinary storytelling universe to the big screen is both an honor and a responsibility that we don't take lightly. We're approaching this film with the same disciplined, uncompromising commitment to excellence that guided our work on Top Gun Maverick, ensuring it meets the exceptionally high standards this franchise and its fans deserve. He then promised that Paramount will be resolute in their mission to deliver a cinematic experience that honors the legacy of this one-in-a-million brand. To the announcement, Activision's president, Rob Kostic, said that Paramount is a studio that he believes to be a fantastic partner to bring the series to the big screen. And he said, quote, "The film will honor and expand upon what has made this franchise great in the first place, and we cannot wait to get started. Our shared goal is quite simple, to create an unforgettable blockbuster movie experience that our community loves, and one that also excites and inspires new fans of the franchise." Again, we don't know who's going to write it, who's going to direct it, who's going to star in it, or when it's going to come out. That is way too early right now at this point to talk about it. But we know it's coming. And that's my thought. Mid AF. It's going to be, I think it's going to be, so like the Expendables was bad. But it was so bad it was good because of the star power. A Call of Duty movie, I don't know how you make a Call of Duty movie unless you're doing a full-on, you're taking, in my mind, if you want to make a Call of Duty movie, you take a story arc from the games, so from the Black Ops games, from the Modern Warfare games, World at War, whatever you want to do. You take one of those and you turn it into a full film. Kind of like what The Last of Us, the show, has done with the game and the series. The show, season 1 was the full first game. Season 2 kind of expanded. They had their liberties. I think the only way to make a Call of Duty movie work is you take the story from an actual game, not an original story whatsoever. You take a story from the actual game and you make it work in that way. The first one wasn't bad, but that doesn't mean it was good. To me, it was so bad that it became tolerable, and that's because of the star power. And then they just jumped the shark, kind of like the Fast and Furious movies. After the fourth Fast and Furious, it got too much. And that's what I'm thinking about. It's gonna be like a Warzone style movie. Why do people? That's a good question, TP. Why do people make games into movies rather than original IP? I bring this up all the time. I want more originality in games and movies and TV. The problem is, and I'm at fault to this to an extent, and I know a lot of people are. People go for what's comfortable and what they know. So, if you see a show based on a game you know, you're more than likely to watch that show. If you see a movie based on a show you know, or vice versa, or a book you know, or a comic you know, whatever, you're more than likely to see that product and follow that product. Spoilers. Stop it. So, the game thing is interesting because for 20 plus years, the idea of making a movie about a video game was so taboo because everyone bombed because they would try and have liberties with the source material. Look at the Super Mario Brothers movie from the 80s, late 80s. Now, I think that movie's so bad it's good. Like, it's a very guilty pleasure movie where I'll watch just for the giggles. But it wasn't a good movie for if you're thinking Super Mario. At all. Fast forward. The Doom movie. Terrible. The Doom movie was awful. With Dwayne. Bad. Really bad. You have what other Assassin's Creed, they tried to stick to the source material, not good. World of Warcraft I thought was better than what it was given credit for. But my thing was, if they would have taken... They tried to do... With the World of Warcraft movie, they introduced too many characters into one movie to try and cram everything in, that it made it... Didn't let anything breathe. Rather than, here's the arc for this, and then it's going to lead into the next one, cramming all that in hurt it. Like, you bring up Toy Story. Toy Story 3 was a good ending for the millennial crowd. Not afraid to say I cried in the theater. Ed, who's in this chat, was with me. We saw it midnight release, Toy Story. And my wife was there. I think Toy Story 4 was a good start for the next era. A standalone Toy Story focused on Bonnie, I think, was good. And I'm okay. If it sells like hotcakes, they're going to keep doing it. But again, rather than come up with new IP, look what the new IP Disney and Pixar have come up with lately, and it bombs because it's new. And because people are dumb. What do I and spiders have in common? I'm terrified of them. I got nothing. That's it. I don't mind if they play it safe, Molly. I don't mind it. Mortal Kombat 95, fantastic movie. Mortal Kombat Annihilation, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. The new Mortal Kombat movie I thought was really good. That was a movie where you take a new character to introduce your own aspect to it and make it work with the characters are there. Like, they did that to me perfectly. That is like, if you want to take a movie franchise or a video game franchise and make a movie but add your own twist to it, that is a perfect way, though it's also a perfect franchise to do it. I am terrified of this new Street Fighter movie. I'm terrified of what it's going to do. It's going to have star power to the max. Bandits, stop it. I am terrified of this Street Fighter movie because of the story, the star power of it. Let's see. The Hitman movie, I haven't seen that in so long, I can't remember if I liked it or not. Scion, what's going on with the Splinter Cell remake? You'll hear about it soon enough. It's moving forward at Ubisoft Toronto. You will hear about it soon enough. And by soon enough, I mean by early next year. I think you'll hear something more about it. TP, yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. Nostalgia sells. To the millennial generation, nostalgia sells. Mortal Kombat 2 getting delayed. Yeah, that bothered me. I was looking forward to it in October, but delay it to May and make it better. Yeah, Street Fighter movie that's going to have Jason Momoa. Let's look. You want the cast for this Street Fighter movie? Hold on. We just wrote about it at Insider Gaming. You ready for this cast? Noah Centineo as Ken. Andrew Koji as Ryu. Jason Momoa. Yes, Jason Momoa as Blanca. Roman Reigns as Akuma. Orville Peck as Vega. Kalina Lang as Chun-Li. 50 Cent as Balrog. Andrew Schultz as Dan Hibiki. David Dastmalchian, I hope I pronounced that right, as M. Bison. Cody Rhodes as Guile, however you want to pronounce it. Hiroki Goto, you know, legendary New Japan wrestler, Goto. E. Honda. And Vijay Jamwal as Daalism. That is the cast of this movie. Like, that's the cast of it. It is a loaded cast. Completely loaded. 50 Cent is in this movie. Let's see. Like, hold on, here's, I don't think Roman's in the picture. There's a couple people not in the picture, but yeah, like the cast of this movie is nuts. Let's throw that over here real quick. There's the cast of this movie. All together. There's Fitty, Cody Rhodes, Andrew Schultz for some stupid reason. The movie's nuts. The first Avatar movie was terrible, Chris. The first Avatar movie was awful. He had to have been. I mean, I know he was a fan. I mean, you got to think. Look at the games he was in and the types of games he was a part of. It makes sense why he'd want to be in it. That Cats movie was awful, though. That Cats movie. Yeah, Supergirl, Spider-Man 4, Avengers Doomsday, Mortal Kombat 2. Don't care about Supergirl. Avengers Doomsday, I don't know. I couldn't give a damn about it. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Mortal Kombat 2 and Spider-Man 4. I'm still angry. Irrationally angry about how Spider-Man 3 ended. It just bothered me. Knowing we wouldn't get another movie for like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It bothered me so much. Bandits, thank you for the subscription. Fuzzy, thank you for the subscription. Movie Fan, Vu Quang, Tariq, Tone, Sindan, Bad Gamer, Shamanto, thank you all. Black Boy, thank you for the subscriptions. The recent Power Rangers movie was trash too. Best part about it was Bill Hader's Alpha 5. Dune, not a fan. Not a fan of Dune in general. The original, I don't know if you guys remember the original Street Fighter movie from 94. If you don't, it was a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. He was Guile, Ghoul, however you want to pronounce it again. Kylie Minogue was Cammy White. The movie sucked. It might have been one of the worst movies I ever. How did it bother me? I'll get to that. It might have been Street Fighter might have been one of the worst movies I've ever seen. One of the worst. How did Spider-Man 3's ending bother me? I get why he did what he did. I get why. When he goes to the shop at the end and he doesn't want to drag them into his business again because he remembered what happened the first time. Though if he would have just kept his mouth shut, it wouldn't have happened in the first place. But when he's talking to Strange and he's like, but it'll work. What if everybody just forgets who I am? But it'll work. Dune is not great. Shut up. But it'll work. And he's like, yeah, it'll work. If I'm that, I'm just like, just do the spell so everybody who's showing up forgets I exist. Just word it differently. Just word it differently. Also, I'm not a fan of the Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield stuff. I like the cameos and all that, their appearances. But I still am not, and I know it's been in the comics forever, but I have never been a fan of the multiverse as a way for movies or stories to explain things that are happening. I just feel it's very lazy. Fuzzy! Ha! Final straw. No, that's my youngest boy, Hunter. Baby Game. You might like it, TP. I don't like it. It's too long. And to be honest, I don't like the source material. So for me, it's already a case of I wasn't going to like it going in. I gave it a shot and I made it halfway through the movie before I couldn't do it anymore. Could not do it anymore. What would I have wanted Spider-Man to be? What do you mean? I just wanted the ending to be different. That's all. That's all I wanted. Minecraft for what it was fine. Minecraft the movie for what it was fine. I went in going, this is a movie geared for kids. Kids are going to love it. I took my son. He loved it. It's exactly what I expected it to be. Minecraft is a game that, yeah, we play, but it's still a game geared towards kids. So here's what I think. TP. Yeah, Dizzle, it was 100% a cash grab. Here's what I think, TP. Andrew Garfield was the best Spider-Man, worst Peter Parker. Tom Holland, best Peter Parker, worst Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire, best all-around Spider-Man Peter Parker combo. That is how I view the Spider-Man things. Garfield, best Spider-Man. Holland, best Parker. Tobey Maguire, best all-around. My kids are obsessed with the Lava Chicken song. My 7-year-old especially. Obsessed with it. What else do we got? There was a couple more things I wanted to talk about, but now I can't remember. Quick recap, if you're just tuning in, since we kicked off over an hour ago, we are streaming on the Vertical site, trying to get it working. We were trying to co-stream also on the Purple site, but that wasn't working despite it saying live, so I killed that. Work on that another time. I think it has to do with schedule streams. Doesn't work. And we're on the Vertical site, Talk of Tick, because I know I have people over there. If you're watching over there, again, thank you so much. My news of my career. I am joining Forbes as I will be writing for covering the NFL for Forbes, writing about the NFL for Forbes for the upcoming season. If things go well, it'll turn into a more long-term thing. But it starts with the upcoming season, so I'm super, super excited. If you are tuning in and you're watching, please leave a like. You leave a like, it pushes and helps for when we go off the air to more people. It also helps the algorithm push out to people while they're there. No, they didn't change the name. I just don't like saying the names of those sites. Usually, there's a weird thing between YouTube and the Purple site, to where if you mention one or the other by name on that platform, they can restrict how it pushes you. Yeah, TP, I will be. When is the Blue movie coming out? 2027. It bothers me. I wish it wasn't a movie because I think they're changing the art style for it. I've heard or read that it's going to be a 3D, and I don't like 3D art style. I don't like it. I also don't like that the show writer, the creator, is stepping away from the actual show in order to focus on the movie. So it'll be a different writing team handling the show moving forward whenever it comes back. Yes, I'm critiquing 100%. I am critiquing a kids show, but I love that show. When I had my appendectomy in 2021, I'm laying in the hospital bed, and instead of watching whatever I wanted, anything, no kids, I watched Bluey. Has there ever been a Tomb Raider movie? Yes. Yes, there has. There was Tomb Raider in the early 2000s with Angelina Jolie. And there was the Tomb Raider film from 2018 that was okay. It was better than the first one, the Angelina Jolie one. I can tell you that, the Tomb Raider movie from 2018. And they're supposed to be rebooting it in some way, new movies or shows. I just don't know what's going on. What's so good about the James Bond movies? I mean, they're fun spy movies. I pick and choose which ones I like. I did like Pierce Brosnan the best as James Bond. Though that might just be that's the Bond my first Bond I remember when I was a kid. It was Pierce Brosnan. You know another podcast that calls it Purple. Defire. Yeah, we talked about that a while ago. We don't know what's going on. The long and short of it is, EA made the announcement without having everything official. There's some schools that, licensing wise, are hesitant to trust EA with a college basketball game, especially because EA wants exclusivity. They're willing to give EA a license without the exclusivity, but because of 2K, they're lurking. EA might just walk away entirely from it all. If they can't get the exclusive license, there is the possibility they walk away. If they can relent, give up on the exclusiveness, and say, you know what, let 2K do their own with their Ultimate Team or My Team Edition DLC. We're still going to make our own standalone game and let it compete. EA will have a game. But the higher ups at EA they're still talking, and then you have the NCAA not knowing what they're going to do yet. So that's kind of the long and short of it, what's going on right now. Yeah, Pierce Brosnan was my first Dizzle. NFL. The NFL season. I told you it's going to be a longer stream than normal. Probably going to go another 15 minutes. The NFL season is underway. It kicks off on Thursday with the Cowboys and the Eagles. Bang, bang, bird gang. No Michael Parsons on the Cowboys. He's on the Packers. Good for Green Bay. I love it. We'll always support the Green Bay Packers. I'm not a Packers fan, but I'm a fellow small market fan, aside from the Cleveland Browns. So, Packers doing well makes me happy to see. Especially I have a friend who's from Green Bay, and I like seeing him happy with his sports teams, even though he has Super Bowls in his life, and I don't. Chiefs, Chargers, Friday night in Brazil. It's the year, to me, with the Chargers, it's the make or break year for Justin Herbert and that organization. They need to make a run. They looked awful in the playoff game. They need to finally make a run and go there. They need to win that division, and this is the year. I know the Chiefs have made the Super Bowl 3 straight years. They've won 2 of them, but they did not look good. Like, the Eagles are great, but they're not blowout Super Bowl great. The Chiefs looked awful in that Super Bowl game. And this is the year for the taking for the Chiefs. Kind of like how last year we felt was the year for the Dolphins to finally take over the Bills. We'll get to the Bills in a minute. But this is the year for the Chargers. This is it. Not saying, I'm not saying Harbaugh is gone after this year. Herbert's gone. But after this year, I think you'll see some wholesale roster changes around the quarterback. Get out of here, Steelers. TP, thank you for the Super Chat, $8. We need UFC 6 news. Hopefully I have something. I hope so too, but no one's talking. At the end of the day, no one's talking, and I'm not going to make stuff up out of thin air. I don't think there's going to be a full race they're going to have sliders to make the race what you want, so it wouldn't surprise me if, say, ARCA does North Wilkesboro, and you can do a full race there. The Bills and Ravens Sunday night. I think the Ravens, and we're going to do predictions each week on the stream. That's one of the things we're going to do. Bills Ravens, the way that playoff game ended, the Ravens are going to come out pissed. And I think the Ravens do what they did to the Bills in the regular season in Baltimore last year. I think they kind of do it again. I personally think we see a Ravens just dominating performance. Lamar Jackson goes off. That's kind of what I feel we see. Unless Joey Bosa turns back the clock and we got a fully healthy, and the Bills have a fully healthy Bosa, that pass rush, I don't think it does anything to Lamar in that game. So let's take a rundown of the schedule as we start to wrap up here. I think Mark Andrews they're going to try and force a big game with. Real quick, any other news about EA, the upcoming Fight Night? Fight Night, there's been nothing. I can't even say there's anything. The last I knew is that it was back on, and that the plan was, the hopeful plan was after UFC 6, but I don't know what's going on with that anymore. All right, week 1 NFL schedule. I feel like I should have Hold on, let's see. I hope I don't. I shouldn't get demonetized for this, but let's see real quick. Nope. Nope. You know what? We're gonna have this music in the background because I'm talking over it. I don't know what you can hear and what you can't hear. But we're going to have the old NFL primetime music going on in the background. The Bills had a chance. I'm not even going to blame that 4th and 1 as doing it in the refs on that. The Bills had the ball with a chance to win it at the end of the game, and they failed. They had the ball at the chance to win it. That's kind of how I feel about that. The Bills had a chance. Jaire Alexander, I don't know. That's what I'm nervous about. I'm going to be really interested tomorrow when all the injury reports start to drop. That's what I'm really interested in. All right, NFL schedule. Week 1. Cowboys, Eagles, Thursday night kicks it off. Banner night, no Micah Parsons in Dallas, but you do still have Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. Eagles are still the Eagles. Eagles take that game. By the way, I'm going to be recording and keeping all these predictions because I want to see how I do. I'm going to put them online too tomorrow, and I want to see how I do throughout the year with my week-to-week predictions. These are straight up, no spread involved, nothing sports betting related, and stuff like that. Injury reports are going to be coming out on Wednesday, so that might change things, but I'm going based on Tuesday, my predictions. Friday, Chargers, Chiefs, Brazil. The first game exclusively on YouTube. Chargers. Like I said, Justin Herbert and the Chargers, this is the time to get this done. TP, you can share them wherever you want. You can share the link to the Discord wherever you want. You can share the streams wherever you want, preferably to the YouTube channel. We hit Sunday, September 7th, what would have been my father's 76th birthday. And we kick things off with the Falcons and the Bucks, a battle for two teams competing for that NFC South. I think we see the step forward with Michael Penix Jr. However, it's not going to be enough. Penix, Bijan Robinson, London, Kyle Pitts is going to be off doing his own thing. Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield's my boy. Mike Evans, Ibuka. That offense is going to be good. Bucks take that one. Bengals, Browns. The Bengals finally beat the Browns last year after being on a losing streak to them. They haven't won a week 1 game in years under Zach Taylor. The Browns are a dumpster fire starting Joe Flacco as quarterback. Myles Garrett's offseason trade request proved to be he just wanted more money. He doesn't care about winning. Joe Burrow, the Bengals, T. Higgins with his new deal. Joe Burrow has his weapons. The Bengals have to outscore everyone in order to... They have to put up 30 points a game to win games because their defense is bad. Luckily, the Browns' offense is going to be worse than the Bengals' defense, and we will see the Bengals finally get off to a 1-0 start under Zach Taylor there. Dolphins, Colts. I don't need to talk about this game much. Tua, Daniel Jones. Tua and the Dolphins take that one easy. Panthers, Jaguars. Panthers, Jaguars. The prince that was promised shows up in a big way under the new coach in Duval. And the Jacksonville Jaguars will take this over the Panthers and move to 1-0 under the new era. Bryce Young looks good in this game. I think the Panthers are going to be a sneaky, not a playoff team, but a 7-win team. That I think their ceiling is. 7 wins is where I see the Carolina Panthers. I'm in hockey mode going, but the Jaguars will take week 1. Patriots, Raiders. Geno Smith, Pete Carroll in Vegas. Mike Vrabel and Drake May in New England. You know, there's not been a team that's been so down that really needs to know a turnaround music. Or a turn music. You saw the music in the chat. You know, the Patriots have been down for quite some time. It's been a while. The last time the Patriots-Raiders play was that great Chandler Jones return for the touchdown. If you don't remember that awful. But Drake May is the real deal. And I hate that he's in the AFC East. Drake May, Stephon Diggs. That offense. I think Mike Vrabel's going to get that team right. That defense is going to play well. Patriots go to 1-0 against the Vegas Raiders. Saints, Cardinals. Saints, if they're not the number one pick in the draft next year, I don't know what's going on. They have no quarterback. Desmond Ridder is awful. Cardinals take that game easily. Jets, Steelers. Aaron Rodgers at the New York Jets. Week 1. The headline game of the 1 o'clock window. And it's going to be the Steelers and the Mike Tomlin never go below 500. Mike Tomlin Steelers start off 1-0. The Jets will be the worst team in the AFC East by far. And here we go. Steelers go 1-0. Washington and the Giants. Washington and the Giants. You know, I like the Giants this year. I like Brian Daboll as a coach. I think Jackson Dart should be the starter. Because of that, Washington takes it. Jaden Daniels, who was my QB1 coming out last year. Not Caleb Williams. Jaden Daniels was my QB1 of last year. And he kind of proved it to me. And I hope, even though teams have film on him now after a full year, he continues his trajectory for the Commanders. And the Washington Commanders move on to 1-0 and start their next season strong. We move to the 4 o'clock window. Rodgers can't get crushed. You know, I don't like him either, but the Steelers are better than the Jets, and that's kind of where it is. Broncos, Titans. 4 o'clock window kicks off. The Titans, Cam Ward, number 1 pick. The Broncos, fresh off a playoff blowout to the Bills, but they got to the playoffs in Bo Nix' rookie year. Sean Payton and Bo Nix, they come out strong. Broncos win this one over Tennessee. 49ers, Seahawks. This is tough. Is Sam Darnold the real deal, or was it a fluke in Minnesota? I don't think it was a fluke. I think Jackson Smith-Njigba and Sam Darnold form a tight pair, a tight bond there. And I think Seattle takes it to San Francisco. Brock Purdy, I still don't fully believe in. He got the contract, but we saw how he did when his weapons were gone. Not the greatest. Granted, what quarterback would? The elite ones would. And if you're going to be paid like an elite quarterback, you need to play like an elite quarterback. And I don't think Brock Purdy can. Seattle goes to 1-0. This will be the game game that I eat my words. Green Bay and Detroit. The CBS 4:30 game is an NFC battle with Tony Romo and Jim Nantz on the call. Micah Parsons in his Packers debut. Detroit coming off another deep playoff run. Didn't get to the Super Bowl, but they're close. Packers still take it. I believe in Jordan Love and that Green Bay Packers and Matt LaFleur over Dan Campbell. The Packers take it. Rams, Texans. Not much to talk about on this one. Texans take this. We get to Sunday Night Football. Bills, Ravens. I already talked about what I think is going to happen. I think the Ravens are going to come in mad, angry, ready to go. And I think the Ravens take this over the Bills in a game that I personally don't think is going to be all that close. It might start out that way. It won't end that way. Ravens go to 1-0. Bills go to 0-1 in a game that could be the difference in who gets the number 1 seed at the end of the year. Monday Night Football. No doubleheader this year. Bears, Vikings. Vikings have J.J. McCarthy, the heir, starting. The Bears have second-year Caleb Williams. McCarthy is pretty much a rookie after missing all of last year due to injury. But I still think the Vikings are a better team. The Bears did a lot to their offensive line, but I am not a Caleb Williams believer. And until he shows me otherwise, new coach and all, Ben Johnson, I still don't think the Bears are good enough. I think they're the third best team in that, or fourth best team in that division, beg pardon. Vikings take it, move to 1-0. So there we have it. I know there was a lot going on. We talked about it with the chat or with the games. But there we go. There are my predictions. We're going to look back at them next week and see how bad or how good I did. If I couldn't suggest a PS5 game to buy that comes out in 2025 this September, what would it be? If it's not Hollow Knight Silksong on Thursday, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. Jaden Daniels might take a step back, but I don't think it's going to be as big as the CJ Stroud step back we saw last year. Bill wishes he stayed out of coaching. That game last night was brutal. I bet under 10.5 for the first quarter, and I thought after the opening drive with them going down with the game script and the Tar Heels scoring, I'm like, ah, crap. And then it started to go okay, and then it just went downhill. And then it went downhill. My buddy bet TCU to cover the spread, and that was the easiest bet he made all weekend. But with that, everyone, I want to thank you for this 90-minute specialty edition of the show. If you're on the Vertical site, TikTok, thank you so much for follow. I'm going to try and come back with more content moving forward from that stream or from the stream. But we are time to sign off. Hopefully they do add something in Offline Franchise NHL 26. But gameplay is being revealed tomorrow morning. And the game launches on Friday. And we have nothing about presentation updates. We have nothing about Offline Franchise. It's not looking good for fans of the... Well, not Offline Franchise, just franchise because it's only offline. We have nothing there. So I'm not giving my hopes up. Death Note. Like I said, I mean, I'm a Bills fan. I'm going to be rooting for the Bills. I don't believe they're going to win. I'm also nervous about that Week 2 game against the Dolphins, or the Week 3 game against the Dolphins. Like, there's a possibility going into Week 4 against the Saints, which should be the get-right game if things are struggling. The Bills could be 1-2. But we'll talk about that next week. Tomorrow, you're not going to see me online much at all. I'm heading to Toronto to see System of a Down. My brother and I are heading there, and I can't wait. This is a dream concert for me. And I'm going to turn off my mind and just enjoy one of my favorite bands of all time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe, share the stream, video on demand. Check the link in the description below for the Discord. It is in the pinned chat. We are heading there, growing it. You guys have made this happen. So, thank you so much once again. I love all of you. And I will speak to you again